Let me set the scene for you. It's February 4th, 2026, Abu Dhabi. Stadium court at the International Tennis Center is packed to the rafters. 5,000 seats, and 90% of them are filled with Filipinos who flew in, drove in. Some probably walked in from across the UAE just to watch this 20-year-old from Quezon City play tennis. And she's getting destroyed. Eala is down a set, and then she's down 4-0 in the third. Aliaksandra Sasnovich, a 31-year-old veteran from Belarus, is 17 minutes away from ending her tournament. The marshals are holding up "quiet please" signs, and the crowd isn't listening. They're screaming anyway. Laban Alex! Fight on, Alex! And here's the thing. Most players, down 4-0 in a decider, they start thinking about the next tournament. They start playing for stats. They pack it in mentally, even if their legs are still moving. Eala didn't do that. What happened next was one of the most dramatic comebacks in recent WTA memory, and I'm going to take you through every gut-wrenching moment of it. Now, let me give you some quick context on why this match matters, beyond just the scoreline. Less than a year ago, Eala was ranked 141st in the world. She'd never beaten a top 40 player, never even played one in the top 20. She was a talented teenager with a junior US Open title collecting dust and a whole lot of what if attached to her name. Then came Miami, March 2025. She walked in as a wild card and walked out having beaten Jelena Ostapenko, Madison Keys, and Iga Swiatek, 3 Grand Slam champions in one tournament. Nobody does that. She became the first Filipina to reach a WTA 1000 semifinal, the first Filipino player to beat anyone in the top 5. Ever. So when she showed up in Abu Dhabi in February 2026, ranked 45th in the world, she wasn't a curiosity anymore. She was appointment viewing, and the Filipino diaspora knew it. Healthcare worker Cheryl Palacios Manalo was in that stadium. She said something that stopped me in my tracks. Since the Pacquiao era, no Filipino athlete has captured the nation's collective spirit in the same way as Eala. Let that sink in. We're talking about Manny Pacquiao, the guy whose fights literally dropped crime rates in the Philippines, made politicians stop arguing, emptied the streets. And now there's a 20-year-old tennis player filling that space. Now let's talk about what actually happened in that match, because the numbers tell one story and the heart tells another. First set, Sasnovich was untouchable. She won every single first serve point, didn't face a break point. At one point, she strung together 9 straight points from the service line. Eala was on her heels, double faulting on her third service game, looking like a player who showed up to the wrong arena. Final score of set 1, 6-2, Sasnovich. It wasn't even competitive. Second set starts, and Sasnovich breaks immediately. Now Eala is down a set and a break, and you can feel the stadium holding its breath. IT specialist Lador Mendoza was there. He said it looked more like a basketball game than a tennis match. The marshals were holding up quiet signs, and nobody cared. They kept cheering anyway until someone had to get on the microphone and tell people to stop because they were distracting the players. But here's where Eala found something. She started generating breakpoints, 11 of them in that second set. Sasnovich made 19 unforced errors after only 4 in the first. Something shifted. The crowd got louder. Eala broke back. At 5-4, serving to stay in the set, Sasnovich faltered. Eala took it 6-4. We're going to a third. Now let me take you back to where we started. That 4-0 deficit that should have been the end. Sasnovich came out firing in the third, broke Eala immediately. Then again, the Filipino crowd went quiet. Real quiet. One witness said you could hold your breath and not notice it. The scoreboard read 4-0 Sasnovich after just 17 minutes of the third set. At 4-0, Eala faced a break point that would have put her down 5-0. That's where most players start thinking about their post-match meal. But she held, barely, got it to 4-1. Then something happened that changed everything. At 5-2, Sasnovich was serving for the match. She had match point, and she double faulted. You heard that right, match point, double fault. That was the crack in the dam. Eala pounced. She broke. Then she held. Then she broke again. The stadium was losing its mind. Filipino fans who'd been standing since the third set started were now jumping. At 6-5, Eala had her own match point. She ripped a serve that Sasnovich couldn't handle. The return kissed the net, popped up, and landed out. But Sasnovich dug in and held to force a tiebreak. Here's what most people don't realize about tiebreaks. They're pure mental torture. Every point feels like game point. Your legs are screaming, your lungs are burning. And in Eala's case, you've got 5,000 Filipinos screaming your name while you're trying to remember how to breathe. Sasnovich got a mini break. She led 5-4, match point again, this time on her racket. And guess what? Eala won the next 3 points. Just like that, 3 straight points to end nearly 3 hours of tennis. Final score, 2-6, 6-4, 7-6 with the tiebreak going 7-5. The numbers said Eala lost the match. She won 111 total points to Sasnovich's 121. She had fewer winners, worse breakpoint conversion, but she won the points that mattered. Monica Puig, the 2016 Olympic gold medalist, was doing the on-court interview. She asked Eala how she was feeling, and Eala could barely get the words out. "I'm so happy. I can't believe it. These moments are moments I only have dreamed about." Selling out stadiums is insane. Let's talk about what was happening in those stands, because this is where the story gets bigger than tennis. Former Australian number 1 Daria Saville watched from home and couldn't believe what she was seeing. She posted, "Aliaksandra Eala is selling out stadiums whether she's playing singles or doubles. If I was a tournament director, I would do anything for her to be at my tournament." She wasn't exaggerating. The Abu Dhabi crowd wasn't just loud. They were doing the wave during a tennis match. They were chanting during service motions. They were treating the International Tennis Center like it was the Araneta Coliseum during a Gilas game. One Filipino expat said it perfectly. "Basta, iba ang feeling. Pampawala ng stress sa mga negatibong news ng ating bansa." The feeling was different. It takes away the stress from watching the news back home. And that's what Eala has become. She's not just a tennis player. She's a pressure valve, a reminder, a reason for Filipinos scattered across the globe to feel connected to something bigger than their 9 to 5 in Dubai or their night shift in Abu Dhabi. Here's the broader significance, and I think it's worth taking a moment on this. Eala moved to Spain at 13 years old. She left her family in the Philippines to train at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca. She learned tennis in a foreign language, in a foreign country, thousands of miles from everyone she loved. Her mother, Riza Maniego Eala, was a national swimmer. She won a bronze medal at the 1985 SEA Games in the 100-meter backstroke, exactly 40 years before Alex won gold at the 2025 Bangkok SEA Games. This isn't some overnight sensation story. This is a family that has been building toward this moment for 4 decades. And now, Eala sits at a career-high ranking of 40 in the world. She's the highest-ranked Filipino tennis player in history, the first to break the top 40, the first to reach a tour-level final in the Open era, the first to defeat multiple top 5 players and multiple Grand Slam champions. When Manny Pacquiao heard about her Miami run, he gave her a shout-out on social media. Eala couldn't stop giggling about it in interviews. "He's such a legend. It's crazy that he even knows me." But here's the thing. Manny knows her because the country knows her, because she's doing something Filipinos haven't seen in tennis, maybe ever. Now, I have to tell you how the Abu Dhabi story ended, because sports don't always give us Hollywood endings. The next night, Eala faced Ekaterina Alexandrova, the number 2 seed, in the quarterfinals. She lost 6-3. 6-3. It wasn't close. The magic of the comeback didn't carry over. But that's not the point. The point is that Eala showed up at the Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open with a target on her back and a stadium full of people expecting a miracle. And when everything was falling apart, when she was 4 games from elimination, she refused to quit. "I really tried my best in those moments to fight," she said afterward. "I really tried to find the fight. And in the end, when I was coming back, I was able to find it. So I'm really proud of that." She should be. We all should be. Because somewhere in Abu Dhabi, somewhere in Dubai, somewhere in Quezon City, some kid watched Eala stare down match point and decided to pick up a tennis racket for the first time. That's the legacy being built here. Not just rankings and trophies, but the idea that a Filipino girl can stand on the biggest stages in tennis and belong there. So here's my question for you. What does Eala's comeback mean for Filipino sports? Is she the next Manny Pacquiao, or is she something entirely new? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to see more stories like this, stories about Filipino athletes breaking barriers and making history, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We're covering all of it. I'll see you in the next one.